Step 1. Set your render engine to Eevee. You can find this under the render properties at the very top in your editor type. Step 2. Go to your shading tab. Select the mesh that has the material you want to edit. Delete your principled BSDF. Connect the texture mesh to the surface. Add a mixed color. Set the mixture type to multiply. Set the factor to 1. Add a color ramp. Set the color ramp to constant. Set the second color to a position of 0.277. Connect the color ramp to color B. Now, set the first color to a color of your choice. Personally, I like to use A2, A2, A2. Now, add a shader to RGB. Connect it to the factor. Add a diffusion BSDF. Turn to modeling. Go to the mesh. Select all. Normals, average, base area. And you're done. Tutorial over. The rest of the video is a brief explanation on how it all works. Now that all of this is done, let me explain a little bit. This here controls the positioning of the shadows, while this here controls the color of the shadows. Darker colors will make your shadows darker. The way this works is by taking the shadows typically generated by Blender, setting a linear The way this works is by taking the shadows typically generated by Blender, setting a linear scale to the shadows, and creating a lit versus unlit cutoff point. The cutoff point for the shadows is determined by the color ramp positioning, where shadow values above 2.77 will be lit and below is unlit. Want to see this in effect? Connect the color ramp directly into the material output. We set the lit color to a solid white because in grayscale it represents a value of 1. When we multiply this with our texture, it returns the original texture values. But when we multiply by a gray color, it multiplies them together to automatically generate a naturally darker version of our texture map. As you can see, this is dynamically generated and will move in real time. The importance of setting our render engine to Eevee is that shader to RGB is not available in the Cycles engine. Not only that, in order to actually have this function during a render, we need the shader to RGB, which automatically produces our shadows for us. By interacting with the light object directly, we can see how the shadows are produced in a more direct fashion. Thank you for staying until the end. You can follow me on Twitter, link in the description, to ask me questions directly, and you can subscribe here for more tutorials. Future guides and tutorials will be focusing on VTubing models and things of that nature. Have a good day, and I wish you have a clean rig and quick retopology.